Welcome to Tentative Title with Tim. This is a podcast about creativity, about process, about filmmaking, and about screenwriting. Welcome everybody back to the show. It's hard to believe that October is almost over. Halloween is going to be around the corner, and then the big event that's on everybody's minds these days, the election. But I'm not here to talk about that right now. But I am here to talk about the idea of a legacy. I consider it to be a pretty big subject, but I'm not going to try to, dive into like what it takes to make a legacy. I don't know, other than trying to be a good person and, having family around you and like not even biological, but, just having people around you that you care about and you care for, leaving the world a better place, stuff like that. But I really wanted to focus on the legacy of film and the film industry. And I see that over the last 10 years, the film industry kind of has been less and less necessary, if that makes any sense, because so many people are able to create their own content outside of this machine of Hollywood, that when it comes to like doing anything inside Hollywood, I guess the biggest draw is the fact that there's money. There's lots and lots of money. Either lots of money to help you make your thing, or lots and lots of money that you will get from producing something or from selling something. And that makes a lot of sense. But in terms of the output of Hollywood, it kind of has felt a bit lackluster. I don't want to say that that's like the entire case, but just in general, it feels like there's not as many exciting movies coming out the way that there was when I was growing up. Now, to be fair, I'm much older. I've seen a lot of movies in cinema. It's really hard for a story to kind of impress me. My wife will attest to the fact that I will watch European cinema or cinema that is like really weird, and she doesn't understand it. But the reason why I watch those kinds of films is because they show me something that is kind of weird, that is not of of planet Earth, that has ideas that maybe are challenging or scary. I like, I guess, to be challenged as a viewer. And when it comes to your typical Hollywood movie, you kind of you get your popcorn and you sit down and you turn off your brain, and that's the experience. Which I'm not saying that like one is better than the other. I enjoy a popcorn movie, especially during this time. If I can turn on a movie that'll make me forget what's going on in the world for a couple hours, if it has some wacky characters or it has like a insane plot, I'm like, okay, I'm all for it. I've become less and less of a snob about the things I watch. But when it comes to passing the torch to the next generation of filmmakers, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, or I don't even know what that means, because either people are, kids are making content for YouTube and for TikTok and for all kinds of like apps, and it's not cinema, but it's not television either. It's somewhere in the middle. It's, I guess, more like documentary, or avant-garde. Maybe it could be defined as another French New Wave, although it's not French, but you get the picture. So, I was thinking about where cinema is going to be when, like 10 years from now, and will my kids even care about watching movies anymore? Or will they just watch YouTube all day, which is kind of what they do now. They have videos and channels that they love to watch, and they watch those, and that is, if it's not that, they do not care about anything else. And we're talking about like just videos of like people playing video games, just like things that to me I don't find enjoyable to watch, but they are really invested in. And my kids are my kids, but I suspect that a lot of that generation are going to grow up with YouTube and not grow up with like some really great cinema. And I could be wrong about this entire thing. My kids are still young. They may grow up and discover some old Spielberg movies, or Coppola or Scorsese, or they may be really interested in the movies of the past. I don't know. I'm gonna try to kind of usher that into their lives and sit them down and say, hey, back in my day, because I will be that old, and I can say back in my day, we used to watch Jurassic Park, and we used to watch The Godfather, and we used to watch, oh goodness, just any number of films that, are considered to be classics now. But I don't know if there are any, I don't know if there's anything out there now that, is exciting the way cinema used to be. I've seen hints of it, and I have become excited about movies that I wanted to see, and I would go see them, but there was like something missing about the whole experience. It felt shallow. It felt like they were like the filmmakers were kind of being lazy, and they didn't really dig deep enough to make the experience not only entertaining and engaging, but also had like something, like some themes underneath that actually like it felt like that there was like some deep thoughts about what was put on the screen. And I don't know. I don't know what cinema is going to look like in the future, and especially because of the fact that it's so mashed together with, you watch the same kind of content on your phone. You watch a movie, you watch a television show, you watch YouTube on your phone, and it's the same experience. But when you go to a movie theater, like you're there to see a movie, and it's an experience that you can't mimic even at home. Like, yeah, it's not the same. And I mentioned this last week about movie theaters, and I think that experience still needs to be around. It's something that it's like basic need to be around each other and to have somebody tell us a story. And it's a part of the human experience, and if we don't have that, then we become very lonely people, and we don't have the same kind of empathy if we're sitting, in our houses watching, YouTube videos. Like it's not there, maybe I'm being too precious about the experience of going to a movie theater, but just seeing, like, I'm lucky to kind of have seen both sides. You know, I've lived during a time when all you could do was go to a movie theater and see a movie. And now there was VHS and all that, but the prime experience was to go see a movie, and to go see a movie with your friends, to have an experience with other people, so that you could talk about the movie with them afterwards when you went to go have dinner or lunch or whatever. You know, like you hung out with people hopefully afterwards, and you said, "Hey, what happened with that? Like, did you understand that plot point? What happened with that character?" You know, and it became not only about watching the movie and you know, waving bye to your friends, but it was like, hey, let's talk about what we just watched. Like, what was that about? What did that mean? You know, like, well, what does that mean for us as human beings? Like, does that touch our lives, or was it just a piece of like entertainment? Like, what was this? You know, let's have a conversation, you know, and let's argue about stuff, you know, and that experience is kind of gone now, and unless like you're part of a group that actually, you know, seeks out watching movies together, it's just gone, and I don't know what it means for the next generation, and I don't know if there's anybody interested in making movies, because that kind of that legacy of film is not being ushered into the future, at least not in a way that makes the younger generation excited about films. But once again, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be off the mark on this. Anyway, I've talked a lot about, you know, the legacy of film, and I still think it's important. I think we should really try as much as possible to preserve the love of film, to as much as possible engage you know, the younger generation with great cinema, and to try to carry that forward, because there's a lot of great cinema that's out there that nobody is going to see because there isn't an appreciation that's cultivated out of it. So anyway, like I said, that's all I got for today. I hope everybody's being safe. I hope everybody is caring for one another. And please, you know, wash your hands and wear the masks and stay 6 feet apart. You know, we're going to get through this. I know, you know, things are really up in the air right now. And we don't know when this thing's going to end. And things are opening up. And, you know, we're coming into the winter season and all that kind of stuff. Like it's just impossible to know when the end of this whole thing will come. But until then, I hope everybody is being safe, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Also, if you haven't done this already, I have a Twitter account for the podcast. It's at title_Tim. And I also have a Facebook page as well, and you can subscribe to that, and I will put episodes up there and any updates. So yeah, come on by, say hi, and you know, yeah, till the next one.